Okay, so if you're listening, you probably feel it too, right? This sort of whirlwind with AI innovation, it feels like every single day there's something new. A new tool, a new idea makes you rethink everything. And it's exciting, yeah, but honestly, it can feel like just too much information sometimes, a real overload. So how do you actually make sense of it all? Well, that's what we're here for today. We want to cut through that noise, get to the really core stuff you need to know about what's happening, like right now.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've pulled together some really recent AI news. What's kind of striking, I think, is how AI it's not just getting better in one little corner. It's fundamentally changing how we use technology across so many different areas, too. We're talking, personal style, how you find content, even music creation,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, how entirely new businesses get off the ground.
Right. And that's the plan for this deep dive then. We're going to pull out the most important bits, maybe some surprising facts from the sources we looked at. The goal is really just to help you feel like you've got a good handle on these, cutting edge things and what they might actually mean. Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. So just to give you a quick roadmap, we're basically focusing on 4 key things today that really show these shifts. First up, there's a new Google AI app for fashion. It's called Doppl. Second, YouTube's using AI in new ways for finding videos. Third, there's been a pretty big acquisition in the AI music world. And finally, this kind of wild, revolutionary AI-powered startup studio trying to launch businesses on a massive scale.
Okay, let's start with fashion then. Google's Doppl, you said it's experimental. This sounds like a pretty big step up for, seeing clothes online. Well, what is it exactly? How does it let you try stuff on?
So Doppl, right, it's an experimental app. It's out in the US, iOS, and Android. And the idea is you can virtually try on outfits, but on a digital you.
Yeah.
You start with a full-body photo of yourself. Then you can snap a picture or a screenshot of literally any outfit, maybe something in a store, what a friend's wearing, something online. Doppl then makes an image of, well, a virtual you wearing that exact outfit.
Wow.
Yeah, and what's really interesting here is it can even take those static images and turn them into short AI-generated videos. So you get a much better idea of how the clothes might actually move or look in real life.
Huh.
It's not just trying on clothes, really. It feels like a step towards, I don't know, a totally virtual way of presenting yourself, blurring those lines between, real you and digital you. Think about how that could change fashion influence. Maybe less about brands, more about just individual expression powered by AI.
So yeah, it's more than just a flat picture. It's like a mini fashion show with your own digital twin. How's this different from what Google's done before? I feel like I've heard about virtual try-on from them.
It's definitely an evolution. Yeah, Google had virtual try-on before, but it was mainly in Google Shopping. And those tools usually show clothes on, like a range of different generic models' bodies,
Yeah.
diverse, but not you.
Right.
With Doppl, the whole point is trying clothes on an animated version of your specific body. Google seems to see this as a way to make it more personal, more accessible maybe, help people explore style in a fun way. But it's the Google Labs thing, so it's early days. The
Yeah.
fit, the details, they might not be perfect yet. And like I said, just US only for now.
Okay, got it. So AI is changing how we might pick clothes. What about how we watch stuff, how we consume content? You mentioned YouTube is also using AI to kind of reshape discovery. What are these new AI features they're rolling out? How do they help you find information?
Yeah, YouTube's got this new AI-powered search results carousel. It's actually pretty similar to Google's AI overviews, if you've seen those.
Right.
Right now, it's for YouTube Premium users in the US. And what it does is it suggests videos, but also gives you these short AI-generated descriptions of topics right there in the search results. So say you search for, I don't know, best beaches in Hawaii. You'll see this AI carousel pop up, maybe highlighting clips from different videos about snorkeling spots or volcanic beaches, along with little text summaries.
Okay. That sounds super convenient for users, right? Getting answers fast. But what about the creators? The people making the videos, doesn't that potentially hurt them if people don't need to click?
That's the core tension. Exactly. User convenience versus, well, creator livelihood. It's the same concern people raised about Google's AI overviews maybe hurting traffic for news sites. If you can get the info you need from that AI carousel without actually watching the full video, yeah, they could definitely cut down on views, on engagement. As AI starts, summarizing and abstracting content like this, creators might have to really change their game. Maybe focus less on just pure views and more on building a direct connection with their audience or offering something unique that AI can't easily summarize.
Interesting point.
So yeah, while it makes finding stuff easier for you, the viewer, could be a bit worrying for the people actually making the content.
Yeah, that's a really crucial thing for creators to think about. And you said YouTube is doing more with AI than just search. What else?
Yes, they have that conversational AI tool. It launched late last year, I think. Now they're actually rolling it out to some non-premium users too.
Yeah.
And this tool, it's basically like having an AI assistant while you watch. It helps you get more info, recommends other content, even gives summaries of videos. It uses large language models, pulling info from YouTube itself, but also the wider web.
So you can chat with it about the video?
Pretty much. Like you could use it to quiz yourself on stuff in an educational video.
Right.
Or if you're watching, say, a dance tutorial, it might ask if you want summary or related videos. You can also ask specific questions like, hey, what's that song playing? And it'll try to tell you the title, artist, genre.
That's pretty powerful, like a study buddy or a research assistant for videos. Okay, and speaking of creation, let's switch gears to music. Big news with Suno, right? The AI music company. They just acquired WavTool. What does that mean? What's the significance there for AI music?
Right, so Suno, yeah, they just bought WavTool.
Yeah.
And WavTool is essentially a browser-based AI digital audio workstation, a DAW.
Okay.
And the whole point of this acquisition seems to be boosting Suno's editing features, making it better for songwriters, for producers who want more control. WavTool, even though it only launched in 2023, had a bunch of tools like stem separation, AI audio generation, even an AI music assistant. Suno says they're integrating this tech right into their new editing interface, which they just launched this month, so making it a more complete package for creators.
That sounds pretty strategic for Suno. What's the context around this? Is there more going on with AI music companies right now?
Well, yeah, the timing is definitely interesting. This acquisition news dropped shortly after Suno got hit with a lawsuit. A country musician, Tony Justice, sued them, claiming they used copyrighted recordings to train their AI.
Ah, okay.
And that's similar to lawsuits filed last year by the big record labels Universal, Warner, Sony. There are also reports, Bloomberg, I think, saying major labels are actually in talks with Suno about licensing deals right now.
So, a lot happening.
Exactly. So announcing this WavTool deal now, especially since WavTool had apparently been offline for months, it feels, quite deliberate. These legal fights can make investors nervous, right? So buying WavTool could be a way for Suno to signal, hey, we're still focused on growth, on improving the product, especially after raising that big $125 million round back in May.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely sounds like a calculated move in a tricky landscape. Okay, so we've gone from AI outfits to AI video discovery to AI music tools. What about the ultimate AI creation, an entire business? Which brings us to Audos, an AI startup studio aiming to launch 100,000 companies a year. That number is just staggering. Who's behind this? What's the core idea?
Audos, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the new venture from Henrik Werdelin. He's the guy who co-founded Prehype, the studio that helped build brands like BarkBox.
Okay, I know BarkBox.
Right. So with Audos, he's making this massive bet that AI can basically scale up the whole process of building businesses, going from maybe, tens of startups a year at Prehype to potentially hundreds of thousands. The timing feels right.
Yeah.
With all the tech layoffs recently and how AI tools have made building digital stuff so much easier.
Yeah.
Autos' whole pitch is helping everyday entrepreneurs create million-dollar AI companies, crucially, without needing to be like a coder or a tech expert.
That's a huge vision, democratizing entrepreneurship like that. But how? How does Audos actually help someone who isn't technical build something complex and find customers? That seems like the hard part.
Well, they're basically trying to take all the methods and know-how from building those bigger companies at Prehype and, democratize it. They give these entrepreneurs AI tools that let them build pretty sophisticated products just using, like, natural language commands.
Okay.
And then this is key. They use social media algorithms, like Facebook's, to find very specific niche customers for these new businesses. Werdelin actually said these platforms are incredible algorithms for figuring out how to reach specific groups. Audos even uses this system to test really quickly if a founder's idea can actually acquire customers affordably, which, let's be honest, is often the make or break thing for a new venture.
That's impressive. Tackling both the product and the customer side, have they actually launched businesses yet? Any examples? And what does Werdelin call these kinds of companies?
Yeah, so since their beta started, Audos has helped launch, they say, low hundreds of businesses. The founders often found Audos through Instagram ads, basically asking, ever thought about starting something but didn't know how?
Huh.
And the businesses are all over the place, like a car mechanic helping people check repair quotes, someone selling services for after-death logistics, virtual golf coaches, AI nutritionists, really niche stuff.
Wow.
And Werdelin has this witty term for them. These are usually 1 or 2 person teams, right? Not chasing billion-dollar unicorn status. He calls them donkeycorns.
Donkey corns.
Donkeycorns, yeah, implying they're focused on being sustainable, useful, maybe million-dollar businesses. Workhorses, not mythical creatures.
I like that. Donkey corns. Okay, but how does Autos make money then? If they're not typical VCs aiming for unicorns, what's their model? Are they taking equity?
No, and that's what's really different. Autos operates on a completely different model. Instead of taking equity, they take a 15% cut of the revenue from the businesses they help launch.
15%.
15% revenue share. In return, the founders can get up to $25,000 in funding. They get access to all those AI business building tools and help with distribution, mainly through paid social ads. Werdelin was really clear, we're not taking any equity in their business, because the goal isn't necessarily for these companies to get sold later on. He said they're more inspired by, like, the mom and pop shops that are the backbone of our society.
Okay, so it's like a perpetual revenue share, kind of like an app store fee almost, which, I mean, it definitely lowers the barrier to entry. But that 15% forever, that could end up being a really significant cost for these entrepreneurs down the line, couldn't it?
That's a really important point to consider, yeah. For a founder, giving up 15% of revenue indefinitely. I mean, over time, that could easily add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some founders will absolutely see that as a fair trade for the upfront cash and the tools. But others might start to wonder later if that ongoing cost is worth it.
Especially as AI tools get better and maybe cheaper elsewhere.
Exactly. And Werdelin himself kind of admits that. He says something like, the world is full of these tools, and they're improving so fast. So what happens when entrepreneurs can get similar AI help without paying that permanent 15% Audos tax, so to speak?
That's a critical question for their long-term model, for sure. So given those questions, why do their VCs seem so bullish? They raised, what, $11.5 million?
True Ventures led that $11.5 million seed round. And the partner there, Tony Conrad, sounded really confident in Werdelin and his co-founder. Conrad basically said, look, there are just lots and lots of people who would want something like Audos. He even drew a parallel to Instagram selling for $1 billion with only like 13 employees, suggesting AI enables even more leverage now. And while Audos isn't chasing those billion-dollar unicorns, Werdelin's ambition is still huge. His goal, he said, is figuring out how you make 1 million companies that do $1 million in annual revenue.
$1 million businesses.
Yeah, do the math. That's $1 trillion turnover business in total. Their bet is that the world is just better off with more entrepreneurs, especially these smaller, sustainable donkey corn types that traditional VCs wouldn't touch. You know, if we step back and look at all 4 of these, Doppl, YouTube, Suno, WavTool, Audos, the real through line here seems to be AI consistently empowering individuals.
Right.
It's putting genuinely new capabilities into people's hands, whether that's seeing clothes on your own body virtually, or getting instant AI help understanding a video on YouTube, or creating music with sophisticated editing tools, or even like launching a whole business as a donkey corn with Audos help. AI is just, it's handing out these powerful new tools to potentially millions of people.
So what does this all mean then? I mean, it's clearly things are changing incredibly fast. It feels like there's massive opportunity, but also, yeah, real disruption happening simultaneously. These aren't just small tech updates, are they? They feel more like fundamental shifts. Shifts in how we live, how we create things, how we work. It feels like they're really shaking up the old ways of doing things in media, in music, certainly in entrepreneurship. It impacts everyone, from the individual creator right up to the big business models.
And it leads to some big questions, doesn't it? As AI keeps making it easier and cheaper for potentially millions of people to create stuff, content, music, even these million-dollar businesses, what happens next? What kind of new societal structures, maybe new economic models, start to emerge when those old barriers to entry just dissolve?
Yeah, and what does it actually mean for us, for individuals, when AI isn't just a tool we use sometimes, but it's like an ever-present co-creator, or even a business partner in Audo's case? How do we find the right balance between embracing all this incredible innovation and dealing with the messy challenges around things like intellectual property or just market saturation when everyone can create? And, like we discussed with Audos, what about the long-term costs baked into some of these new platforms? It's a lot to think about.